welcome to the Shelley Studio, and today I am doing my mission inspiration project for September. So this is a Facebook group done by Mike Deacon, and it's a lot of fun. If you haven't done it before, you should give it a try. It's really fun to follow the prompts and try to come up with a composed page. So the first prompt for this one is cover the page with paper fragments. So I am taking a book, it's an old book I've had for a while, and I just tore up a bunch of pages and gonna glue them all down. So I didn't want to tear any more of that book up, so I decided to add some tissue from Tim Holtz to give it a little bit of variety. This one I think is called Postal something. I can't remember, but it's some fun tissue. Haven't used it for a while on a page, so I thought I'd add it to this one. Okay, so the next prompt was add a cover with thin washes of two colors. This is titanium buff, or buff titanium. It is not one of the colors on the list, but I kind of wanted everything to blend together because I had some of that off-white paper and then I had the white background. So this is just my way of getting it all incorporated, just putting a thin layer of that on there. And then one of the colors, the three colors on the prompt were mustard, peacock, and slate. So this looks super blue, but it is kind of a turquoisey color. So I thought it would go for the peacock. And I'm just using what colors I have. I have so much paint, I do not need to buy any. I will just go with what is closest, and I know I say that every time, but I just wanted to tell you, you don't have to go out and buy stuff to complete these pages. If you have some paint, use what you've got. And if it's not quite the right color, choose your own colors. They're just suggestions. It's all just suggestions. So we're going with this color. So one of the other colors was, what did I say, slate? And I didn't have any gray. So I am taking some of my white gesso and a little bit of black, because it doesn't take much black to make it really dark. So I'm just doing a little bit of gray, and I am just going to take my big brush and just do one swipe. Just sort of make it like a focal, or just to make it interesting. Alright, so the next prompt was to add a focal image or two. And, you know, the words on here that are suggestions were feather, leaf, thyme, home, and quilt. So I was thinking of the feather and decided I have this feather stencil that I had not yet used. See how clean it was? And we could put some of those on and make those part of our focal image. And I'm doing a 2-page spread again, so I decided I would add a bird over on this side, just to have something interesting going over on the opposite page. Alright, so I found this magazine cutout of a clock and decided to add it to the page. And then I'm just going around the feathers with my Stabilo All pencil so that I can darken around them to make them stand out a little bit more. Of course, I'm activating the Stabilo with my water brush. It's kind of messy, but I like how dark it gets. And here I'm just taking a pen and doing the, what is that, the shaft of the feather? And it's a pen that bleeds, so it works to use the water brush on it. So I'm trying to cover up the orange around the edge of this clock, because it's not one of the colors. One of the colors was mustard, so I do that, and then I just go around with some yellow. Not really mustard, but you know, gives it a little bit of a yellow accent, and I don't think I put that color anywhere else, so it's on its own there. Another one of the prompts was, the next prompt was to add washi tape, or you could do glue down paper strips or whatever. But I have this washi tape, I think it's Tim Holtz, or at least Ranger washi tape. So I thought I would put it on and kind of emphasize that gray swath that I put down. And I've seen a few people do this where they tape it down and then they cut and then they peel it back. I was worried I was going to tear my little clock. But this seemed to work, and I put a few layers or a few strips of the washi tape on. And you can see I've just been putting the leftover scraps over on the left-hand side there, just to put something over there. So the next prompt was to add drips, dribbles, or splats. So how about splatters? So I sprinkle a little bit of white high flow. Well, this one's actually a white ink. I like it because it's really opaque and not translucent, so it really shows up. And I get a little carried away, as usual. Alright, so the next one was to add handwritten journaling or a quote. I didn't write that part, but this one is a quote. So I went for Time Flies. See, feathers, clock. I have looked since I created this the first of the month, but I've seen people posting in Mission Inspiration, and a lot of people went with that feather theme. So there's a lot of feathers this month. So the quote is, "Time flies faster every year. Time flies whether you're having fun or whether you're living your life big or small, whether you surround yourself with fear or laughter," I think is what I wrote on there. Anyways, it's a quote. I googled it. So the next one is to doodle or scribble. So I decided I would draw just sort of a sketchy feather over on the opposite side by the quote. And then the next prompt was to create a border of your choice. I always have a hard time with that one, so I'm just taking my white paint marker, which is not very good, and going around a couple of times, just giving it a little bit of a white edge. And that was the last prompt. I really like how this turned out. I hope you like it. If you did like it, please let me know. Comment, hit like, share it if you want to, and if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.